Hey guys, it's Oluvids, and today I want to talk about the unknown origin of Terra and Aqua from Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep. And in general, just that entire kind of unknown era in between Dark Road and BBS, because we really don't know anything about them, like where they come from. Back when I first played BBS, I didn't really care where they came from, but after Kingdom Hearts Dark Road came out and Union Cross, all the different side games, Missing Link, now I'm wondering if they have some sort of significance, because for one, we know where Ventus comes from now. Originally we didn't, but now we know he comes from the Union Cross timeline, and they had a whole bunch of stuff about that. But Terra and Aqua, we don't know. Interestingly enough, we don't actually know where they come from, like what world they're from, because according to different things like the Xehanort reports, it seems like they didn't originally live in the Land of Departure. In Xehanort Report 5, while he's talking about, worlds and all that, what Keyblade wielders are doing, what their duty is, he mentions that few Keyblade wielders remain now. I've heard of but a handful of others outside my circle, but the world is vast and more of our kind may be out there. We know, of course, Xehanort and Ericus live on the Land of Departure. Yensid lives in the Mysterious Tower, and maybe he knows of Mickey, so we can say Mickey lives in Disney Castle. And Ericus did mention that Yensid is a dear old friend to him. I'd imagine that Xehanort probably knows Yensid as well. So outside of his circle, there's some other people around, other Keyblade wielders out there doing whatever. At the time that Xehanort is writing this, is only Xehanort and Ericus living there. There's no mention of Terra and Aqua, no one else. At the time, I used to think that they were just maybe kids at the time, or they just weren't around. But at this point in time, there's no Terra and Aqua, it's just them there. And then of course, if you remember, Xehanort ends up leaving during the time when him and Ericus have their disagreement, and Xehanort's like all darkness and Ericus is all light. In Xehanort Report 8, Xehanort says, "I left and wandered the world. This is the first time I felt truly free since the day I departed my boyhood home. But free to do what? I'd already shown the mark and become a Keyblade master. That having been passed over as a successor, all that remained to me was the road of a teacher." So at this point in time, he didn't have an apprentice. He never took on an apprentice. But at this time, Xehanort is super old, and he became a master way back when he was still a young adult. We see in Dark Road that they're taking the Mark of Mastery around the time when we see young Xehanort's appearance, how he looks in Dream Drop Distance. Around when he looks like that, that's when he's taking the Mark of Mastery. So he has had a large gap without even taking any students, any disciples. He's never had a pupil. And sometime in between that point and their disagreement here, and when he wrote that 5th report, they were just there living in the Land of Departure. And then once you go over to Xehanort Report 11, this is closer over to the Birth by Sleep time. This is one after he finds Ventus, and when he brings Ventus over to Ericus. And Xehanort says, "I had not visited the second home of mine for some time, and discovered that Ericus had already 2 pupils of his own. Within one of them, Terra, I sensed something. The boy, though well-intentioned, seeks power single-mindedly, and that kind of hunger is a seabed for darkness. I found my vessel." This is basically telling us that Xehanort never met Terra and Aqua before. Xehanort leaves, and then by the time Xehanort comes back with Ven, Ericus now just has 2 disciples. He just has 2 apprentices. Where did Ericus even find these guys? Like, did he just, was it in a world he was fighting in and it was about to fall, so he just took them and adopted them? Or, I don't think he actually had them as his children, because they say they treat him like a father, not their actual father. Or maybe another outpost, another Keyblade outpost, they used to live there and they transferred over there. I don't know. There's a lot that we don't know about in terms of that little time gap between Dark Road and Birth by Sleep. It's just like, I'm just wondering, like, okay, especially now with Nomura fleshing out all the different time periods, and Ericus calls Terra and Aqua the youngest prospects in years, not the only prospects in years, so it's possible that there were others that tried to take a Mark of Mastery but they didn't make it. I don't know. I wrote down my notes, youngest or only prospects in years, because that can mean 2 different things. He says the youngest, so it means that there were still people taking the Mark of Masteries, or at least training to be Keyblade wielders. One of them, which is Mickey, and that's really all we know about. Like, were there other ones out there at the time of Birth by Sleep, or were they all dead by that time? It's tough to say. And I kind of just want to know what happened in between. Why did they all leave Scala? That's the main thing I want to know. Why did they all leave Scala? And where did Terra and Aqua come from? But yeah, let me know what you think in the comments, or if you think this is going to pop up later on. Honestly, like, if Dark Road and Union Cross and Missing Link weren't coming out, I would not really care where they came from, but since they are, I feel like it could be something. It could be something interesting. Maybe some sort of purge happened in Scala or something, or maybe they just all decided to depart and separate. And also, are those other Keyblade wielders out there? Xehanort did say there's a couple guys out there outside of his circle. Are they still out there fighting the darkness, or are they all dead? So anyway, that's going to be it for this video. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll be seeing you guys next time.